Welcome back, everybody. And be part of the team. Grab your RP Show merch now at rodpeterson.com. Simply click on the RP Show store and get yours in the mail. All right. We've got the man, Dennis Bernstein from NHL Radio, fourthperiod.com. DB, I wasn't just buttering you up, man. It was so much fun being around you at the Winter Classic Friday night and your lovely wife, Patty. Did you have as much fun here in Miami as it appeared you were having at the Winter Classic?
I love life, Rod. So here's my 2026 so far. Orange Bowl, January 1st. Winter Classic, January 2nd. Wild Kings, January 3rd. Rams, Cardinals, January 4th. I had a blast. I'm at a lot of the outdoor games. I hear all the criticism. It's all BS, Rod. If you're at the event, it's an event. It's not a hockey game. It's one of 1,200 games in a season. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It was so great. When they opened the roof, when the fake snow came down, it was a great event. Ask the Ranger fans that were there. Maybe not the Panther fans. I loved it. I have a great time. It's something. And, Rod, they've had 45 outdoor games. They've averaged 54,000 tickets sold. It's not going away. So all the haters can keep hating. It's going to continue.
Well, I love you saying that. I don't know why people have to hate it. I wondered, is the NHL bothered by the criticism? They clearly are not, because these things keep getting bigger and better. You heard Paul Maurice say the ice is fantastic. They're perfecting this. They might end up having more of these games.
Rod, did the 79,000 people at the Horseshoe last year hate the game? Nope. Didn't happen. It's an in-market thing. So like I went to, let's say, the game in Raleigh, the outdoor game. Yeah, somebody in Seattle is not going to want to watch that game. I understand. I get it. The ratings aren't going to be robust. Who cares? They're not going for a TV contract. These are locked-in contracts. So if you go to the game, you will have a great time. Yeah, there'll be traffic. Yeah, maybe the facilities will run out of food or whatever. But the game is something. You're seeing history. You're seeing an event. Like, who wouldn't want to go to the Stadium Series next year in Dallas at Jerry World? Like, from a curiosity standpoint, Rod. And with respect to the temperature, and it's 62 degrees. I hear the criticism. It's not really winter. And Brian Boyle's NHL Network does a great job. We talked to Brian, and I was at the game as well. When they played at Yankee Stadium, when they came out of the lockout, it was 17 degrees. Do you think the players like playing in a game at 17 degrees with wind at Yankee Stadium? I was there. It was brutally cold, Rod. So 62 degrees. I was at the Stadium Series back in the day when the Red Wings and the Avalanche played at Coors Field. Game time, it was 65 degrees. The sun was going down over the Rocky Mountains. What a spectacle. It's a spectacle. Yes, there's a game involved. But, yeah, this is going to continue. I love it. I think it's great for the fans. And, again, you have to understand, when you buy a ticket to those games, you're seeing an event and you're seeing history.
Bill from the Queen City writes in, he says, the Winter Classic was a good show from start to finish. The bench coaches' jackets the Rangers had were great. Well, I like Paul Maurice's too. So two things that are coming out of that, Dennis, who joins us from Los Angeles, by the way, everybody, from NHL Radio and the fourthperiod.com is, number one, it's addicting. You say, who would want to be in Dallas? I want to go now. Because it was so much fun, and the NHL is so accommodating and inclusive. And number two, do you think some of the haters might have just been jealous that they weren't there? Yeah. What do you think?
Of course. The Rangers walk in like Miami Vice, right? Matthew Tkachuk gets out of some sports car with a cigar. Like, have fun with it. Like, the people that hate this aren't having fun. This was a fun event. I walked around before, talked to the people. They're having a great time. It's great that it was 62 degrees because it helps the fans. Like, do you think the fans really, really were happy at the Big House when it was 17 degrees and the massive traffic at Anaheim? No. Like, this event has evolved. I'll be fair about one point. This is not 2008 Pittsburgh and Buffalo in Buffalo outdoors. It's changed. It's evolved because it has to adapt and evolve to the market they're in. So Florida is not going to be like it was in Buffalo. Right? It's going to be very, very different, but it changes all the time. So I think the fact that it changes and evolves, I think that's a positive, Rod. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of jealousy. And guess what? Every team wants an outdoor game, whether it's the Winter Classic or Stadium Series. They all want it. They see the revenue. They see how the fans react. They see the merchandising sales. You couldn't buy any merchandise at the end of these games because they always sell out. So I just don't understand the hate for this one particular game out of 1,200 that's played in an NHL season.
I'm with you. By the way, from the audience, Ryan in Saratoga, New York writes that he says, not only was it unbearably cold at Yankee Stadium, but the glare on the ice was brutal. Tony from
Yeah.
Cochrane writes in. He says, with all the domes being built in the NFL, in a few more years, there will be no NFL outdoor classics. Well, so hang on all that. Dennis, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you probably weren't watching earlier. I said, I was sitting across the table from you. I turned to Jersey Jim and I said, who is that? He goes, that's
Yeah.
DB, Dennis Bernstein. I said, I did. Really? The guy that I listened to on NHL? I didn't know who you were initially, but I said you had this aura. Everybody's coming by and talking to you. You're so positive. You got the hot takes. Tell our viewers, if you don't mind, Dennis, just your hockey media covering history, because I don't think you were born and raised in LA. You don't sound like it.
No, I was born in the Bronx. Grew up a Ranger fan. Moved to Central Jersey when I was 13. Became a Flyer fan when, I'll show you my age. I was a fan of the Broad Street Bullies growing up. Right. I'm probably, Rod, unlike yourself, the least qualified person to do this job. I'll tell you what my background is. I have an undergraduate degree in accounting. I have a master's in finance. As a freshman in college, I got a C in English. I've never taken a journalism or creative writing course in my life. But I'm a great storyteller. So one thing I do. And I had a dual career. I also worked for Red Bull as a recruiter for 6 years at the end of my career. Right? So what was I doing night in, night out? Interviewing people. Why do you want this job? At night, why does the power play suck? Right? But I have a passion for sports. I have a passion for hockey. I love the game. I love the players. That's my background. So if you're passionate enough about this sport or any sport, you can make a success out of it, and you try to monetize it. So that's my background. So if I could do it, anybody can do it, but it takes a lot of determination, a lot of grind, and a lot of passion for what you want to do.
Well, you weren't underqualified, DB. You were ahead of your time, because that's everybody now. They're not going to school. They're just talking hockey,
That's
and the
true.
good ones survive, like yourself. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He says, he is a true talent. Well, I think that he is. I picked up on that fast if I have an eye for any of this stuff. Now, I'm not going to repeat some of the insider stuff you talked about, because that's for the table. That's for the press box talk. But having said all that, who's in your Stanley Cup final today, DB? I feel like this is the most wide open field we've ever had.
Well, it's a wide open field to lose to the Colorado Avalanche in the final. Because right now, Rod, it's one team and 31 teams. And the great thing about it is, you look at the Eastern Conference, 15 teams in the Eastern Conference, 15 teams in the playoff race. Like Colorado, it's theirs to lose. Out of the East, I really don't know. I could still make the case for the Florida Panthers. They still have a great coach. They still have a great goaltender. They still have some quality there. Now, Barkov's getting back on the ice, will he get there? The other team I really, really like is, you talk about coaching and talent, John Cooper in Tampa Bay. John Cooper's never won a Jack Adams Award. He should win it this year. If they find a way to win the Eastern Conference, then he should be it anyway, because he's done such a phenomenal job. But it's truly and the problem with the Avalanche is, now, the one thing that could derail them is injuries. And what happened in the last game? Landeskog got hurt. Taves got hurt. Mackenzie Blackwood's on IR. The only thing that could derail, two things. One is injuries, and two is goaltending. But I watch the Avalanche play. They are wonderful to watch. If you're a fan of the sport, you watch that team play. They are phenomenal. It's theirs to lose right now. I think they're a better team than the one that won in 2022 right now on paper.
Well, I told you that we are airing across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. They'll enjoy the LA flair of your chat here today. But then Golden Knights have lost 5 in a row. Are we putting too much stock into these mini slumps and streaks? You know, all of a sudden this team's the hottest thing. Look at the Sabres. Yeah. They're not legit, are they? And the Golden Knights aren't in trouble, are they?
Well, the Sabres, it's funny about the Sabres, Rod. What happened with the Sabres? Their goaltenders made saves, and they won games. What a shock. Wow, what a revelation. No, here's the problem with the Golden Knights. No Petro, and Nick Hague, even though he's not a great defenseman, their defense isn't as close to being as good as it once was. Right? The goaltending, Aiden Hill, where is he? Is he going to finally come back? Carter Hart, all the controversy around him coming. All the goaltenders' save percentages are under 900. Now, you talk to my buddy Gary Lawless, who's their insider over there. He says, well, it's not the goaltender's fault, it's the defense's fault. It is. Jack Eichel's been out with injury. They're like the other teams behind the Colorado Avalanche. They're not a very good defensive team right now, Rod. Would I take a lot of stock in it? No, because you look at the quality they have. Jack Eichel, when he's fully healthy, they still have a very, very good team. They still could win the division, because the division, to be honest with you, is a dog's breakfast. It stinks. There's not one team in the Pacific that has a plus goal differential. Right? It's a bad division. So am I nervous about the Golden Knights now? No. Do I think they're a Stanley Cup winner? Absolutely not. Not with this defense. McCrimmon's going to have to make some moves, I think, on the blue line to make this team better defensively at the trade deadline.
Dennis Bernstein with us from LA, from NHL Radio and the fourthperiod.com. I mean, so I saw Colorado here yesterday lose to the Panthers.
Yeah.
But they had just played the night before in Carolina. And here's one for you. I feel like we're just rapping, Dan. Put the cameras away. It's just you and me talking hockey. You hear the teams talk about the condensed schedule, and they're not getting enough rest. I hear that from the player. They're not getting enough practice. They're not getting enough rest. And for those stars, they're going over to Italy to play in the Olympics for 2 weeks. I wonder how many guys are going to be worn out by the time they come back. That's going to be a factor, I would think, come playoff time.
Yeah, remember when John Tavares went over and got injured? I mean, it's going to be a major factor. Like this January is a brutal schedule for all these teams. They're playing 15, 16 games. The Kings' schedule is ridiculous right now when you look at it. So is it going to be a factor? Absolutely, it's a factor. It's a team that can survive and manage through this. And you're right about one thing, Rod. If you're a coach and something's not working for your team and you try to change it, when do you practice to change it? Like the Kings' power play is 31st. They never practice. They're taking off days. There's mandated off days. They have to rest. They're playing back-to-back games. You can't practice to improve. So it's a very, very difficult season. And Rod, next year, it's 84 games. There's 2 more games to the schedule.
Yeah.
But that's the price of being a pro. Travel, back-to-back games. It's been very, very difficult. It's going to be a battle of attrition. And maybe the healthiest team at game 83 may have advantages getting into the playoffs.
The viewers have questions for you. And, I'll get to them in a second. You cover the LA Kings so well. I went back and read a bunch of your stuff at fourthperiod.com. Didn't they last year just tie a franchise record for home wins? How is it that the bottom fell out so fast?
Well, Rod, you have to score goals to win games. And this team just refuses to score goals. When they have odd man rushes and 2-on-1s, they want to pass the puck into the net. The offense has been terrible. It's been really, really bad. Right? And that's the reason why. And here's the thing. You mentioned they play good defense, but they're in every game. But they've lost, I think, 14 one-goal games. So if you look at their record and say, okay, if you add 6 more goals to this team, would they be in first place? Probably. Like the reason they don't win games at home is not the crowd and it's not the laissez-faire fans and they show up in the first. They don't score goals, Rod. They don't score goals on the road or at home. It doesn't matter. It's as simple as that. And if they can find a way to finish, and they have been finishing lately, the last couple of games they've been scoring more goals, maybe they improve the record. But it's been purely because their offense is so weak.
Oh, it's funny. I was watching, nothing against the Sportsnet guys because we love them, but I'm watching Hockey Night in Canada, and I think they said it was the Jets. They're in the market for a goal scorer for cheap. Mm-hmm. I'm like, as is everybody else. They don't grow on trees.
Yeah, and that's it. Depth scoring is going to be an issue. Ken Holland's going to have to probably make a move for a goal scorer. But when I look at that team, it's not even the forwards. And I get it. Like Quentin Byfield is so disappointing this year. Like a second overall pick, I think he's got 5 goals this year. And one was off a bounce the other night against Minnesota. Like they lack puck-moving defensemen. And you talk about Colorado, why they're so good. Sure, they got a ton of talent. But look at their third pair. They've got 2 they don't have big guys that, back in the day, your third pair guys were guys like Luke Shen, 6'4", 225. Now, look at the third pair. It's Sam Girard and Sam Malinsky, 2 puck-moving guys on the third pair. That's why that team is so good. That's why the Kings are suffering offensively, because they have 1 puck mover in Brant Clark. The rest of the guys, even Drew Doughty, he's not a puck-moving defenseman, although he's still a quality defender. I think that's the challenge with respect to their offense. You need guys on the blue line that can move pucks. That's how you get offense in this league right now.
Dennis Bernstein with us from NHL Radio on the fourthperiod.com. Just dipping back into the comments. Arlen Bruce is watching, former Kansas City Chiefs receiver, 2-time Grey Cup champion. He says, wow, great information. For a guy like me who's been following hockey for only 4 years, thanks, family. That's from AB. Well, thank you. That's why I brought DB on. He is forensic when it comes to hockey information like this. And there are a lot of World Juniors questions that I'll get to in a second. I'm not, but John in Edmonton says, what goalie should the Oilers keep once Tristan Jarry comes back? And it's a fair question.
They did get to the Cup final with Pickard. So I'd probably stay with Pickard as a 2. But Jarry's got to be the guy at this point. Connor Ingram, it's been a nice run. But look, here's the thing. Like, they have to be better defensively. Matthias Ekholm is not the Matthias Ekholm of 2 years ago that took them to a Cup final. Like they play poor defense, so you can only hang it on the goaltending so much. Because you know what? I thought Stuart Skinner was the problem, Rod. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, he's still giving up goals, and he's not there anymore. So you can't blame that guy. I would stay with Pick because he did play some good games in the playoffs for this team. Don't really trust Connor. And Connor Ingram could have been picked up by any team. He was claimed on waivers. So I'd stay with Pickard right now.
I did not believe Skinner was the problem, but I'm a goalie guy and I get defensive. Everybody always blames the goalies in every market.
Yeah.
But he's not exactly letting it up in Pittsburgh either. I get that.
He's not. That's what I looked at those numbers. They're not. They're about the same. So what you see,
right,
what you get with Stu.
Yeah. So more than any, I'll sum up all of these World Juniors questions into one thing. They're basically saying, why is the attendance so crappy in Minnesota? We're not used to seeing that.
Yeah. I like your take about it being in the States
watching?
And people don't care. Yeah, of course I'm watching. It's called show prep, Rod. Come on. I'm a professional over here. Yeah, Rod, I had a choice to go to Winter Classic or World Juniors. It wasn't a choice for me either. In the Bronx growing up, I didn't know what the World Juniors was. And don't get me wrong, it's a great tournament. Like, go back 5 years and look at all the rosters and look at all the players in the NHL. If you want to see the future of the NHL, go to the World Juniors. The other thing, Rod, is $200 a ticket. So it costs your family with parking and food $600 to go to a World Juniors game? No, sorry. They missed. And yes, look, I don't like the fact that you put politics in it because I don't want to talk politics. But the dollar makes a difference, right? And it's not in the mentality. And it's a lot of competition. It's not front of mind, even for Minnesotans. So it's not a detriment. It's not means the tournament's bad or whatever, or Canada and US got knocked out. It's just not a staple of American sports culture. It's as simple as that.
There you go. Boom. Well, hey, you are a business guy, so you know that the ebbs and flows. Like by the show, I'm apolitical. I don't have a stance. I don't talk about it. But with the Four Nations face-off, with Trump bringing in the tariffs and that invigorating Canadian pride, that exploded the Four Nations face-off. That filled the barns. But here we're a year later, and we're dealing with all the sediment and all the fallout of all of that. So I do believe there is something to do with that. Real quickly, we have a minute. Jeff in Calgary says, are the Flames going to make the playoffs?
No, there's just not enough quality. There's not enough talent on that team. And I think they should wind up trading. At some point, they'll trade Kadri. They should trade Raz Anderson, just a kind of a retooling for that team. So they'll be there. They'll be competitive. I think they're on the outside looking in again, Rod.
All right, about 45 seconds. Where can people catch your stuff, Dennis?
Well, if you can't find me, it's your fault. I'm pretty conspicuous. thefourthperiod.com, SiriusXM. We do a Saturday show called The Hot Stove from 11 to 1 Eastern. My X address is Dennis TFP, like the fourth period. So like I said, there's plenty of places to find me. And certainly love being on the show. It was great talking with you. And certainly anytime you want me, I'm happy to come back and talk with you.
Well, thank you, Dennis. If I may call you DB, it was a thrill, and I felt bad. I'm like, I said to Jersey Jim, this is the guy that I've been listening to. I never saw him before. And then I'm like, oh, I'm already following him. Oh, we're already Facebook friends. So it was meant to be, Dennis. So say hey to Patty for me. Enjoyed meeting her as well, and I'm glad you made it home safely.
And she thought you were a very handsome guy, Rod. So take it. I'll leave on that note.
Was she into the eggnog a little late?
No. That was after the game. Exactly.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate you, man. Dennis
Likewise.
Bernstein joining us. Yeah, from thefourthperiod.com and SiriusXM NHL Radio. We'll be right back with a sports update and viewer takeover here on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.